Hello, my lovely anatomists and physiologists. Michele Glass here. Welcome back. Let's talk just real briefly about blood supply to the GI tract and the significance. Of course, we've talked so much about cardiovascular system. We're really well versed in what's going on with this. But when we're talking about the blood supply, let's think about it as having the role here of transporting our nutrients. And what we're going to see is initially this blood supply is going to be picking up carbohydrates. It's going to be picking up proteins, and it's going to be picking up nucleic acids that we've digested and absorbed. And let's make a note. I'm going to use a green color because we've used green for lymphatic system throughout. Let's just make a note here that our lipids are going to be primarily I feel like I'm spelling primarily wrong, so I'm just going to use my abbreviation. Primarily transported via lymphatic system, and we'll say more along those lines later. Okay, another important job of the blood is going to be just to supply oxygen and nutrients to the GI tract itself. And of course, waste removal, that's always assumed. Now, what we'll see when we're talking about the blood supply, I'm going to use red here for my arteries. So the arteries are supplying to the GI tract. And so we're going to get the aortic and thoracic artery going to the anterior GI. So that's the top portion of the GI tract. So that's going to be, basically what's located in the thoracic cavity. So we're talking about pharynx and esophagus. And then we're going to see the abdominal aorta really servicing the inferior, I have the wrong words written down in my notes and I'm just thoughtlessly writing them down here. So going back up, it's not anterior GI, it's the superior, meaning top. And then inferior abdominal would be, abdominal aorta would be inferior GI tract. So the lower portion, what's in the abdominopelvic region. And then we'll see, we can break down the inferior GI even further. So we'll see like the celiac trunk is going to go to the stomach, the liver, and that top portion of the small intestine, which we call duodenum. And then the inferior mesenteric is going to go to basically the rest of the small intestine. So that's the jejunum and ileum, and then the large intestine. Let's grab a blue color here to talk about the veins. And so here we're going to see that the job of the veins will be to collect the nutrient-rich blood. And we're mostly collecting that from the small intestine. So we'll see the job of the small intestine is to finish digestion and really absorb those nutrients. And so the blood is coming along here to grab that. And then we'll see it's transported to the hepatic portal system, which takes the blood then from the small intestine to the liver. And we'll be talking about the liver as one of our accessory organs. I think we've already listed it actually, but we'll talk a little bit more about it. And what we'll see is that it's going to have the job of like processing and storing these nutrients. So it's kind of like determining what is going to go back out into the bloodstream. Here's an interesting just sort of factoid. So when we are resting, so I'm going to put at rest, meaning pretty much the parasympathetic nervous system is sort of the in charge system of our body. We'll see that about 1/4 of each heartbeat. So the blood from like, so 1/4 of the blood from each heartbeat is going to actually go to the GI tract. So we see very much that we're turning on absorption and secretion of nutrients when we're at rest because it's requiring so much of our blood flow to our gut, right? And this might also explain why we feel very sluggish after eating a whole bunch of food, because that blood is pretty much being focused there in the abdominopelvic cavity at those GI tract organs, rather than really going out to our brain so much in our muscle. I think we did say in cardiovascular system that you get about the same amount of blood flow to your brain all the time. So it's not necessarily that you're not getting blood flow to the brain, but you're not getting a lot of blood around to your extremities. Okay, let's stop here and we're going to pick back up looking at the different activities involved in digestion. So as always, take care of yourselves and each other.